All right, so we are backstage at the. We're in Fresno. We're at the what
Tower Theater in Fresno.
Tower Theater,
backstage.
You're
about to hit the stage in about 40 minutes.
I know. I just took a nap, so I just woke up. So we're backstage, and you just heard Big J and Jesse May. And now we got some news, some fresh news, some updated news, and that's going to be this part of the show. And then we'll finish up here, and then I'll hit the stage, and then we'll drive home all night. Yeah. So perfect. So what do you got, Chris?
So I'll kick this one off with a, I guess it's kind of local. It's only 2 hours north of us, San Jose. Mm-hmm. So there's a police union director who got caught because of within an opioid smuggling ring.
The fentanyl lady.
Yeah, exactly. So she was the executive director for Northern California Police Union, San Jose. And yeah, she was getting fentanyl shipped to her house. She was using her work computer to organize this.
Yeah, she was getting it shipped in chocolates and stuff like
wedding
that.
invitation or wedding favors and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't.
Okay, so this is what I want to tell everybody. Please listen to me. I'm going to say this once, except for I've said it a million times, and I'll say it a million times more. This notion of like we must get women in positions of power, we must get blacks in positions of power, we must get Hispanics in positions of power, we must get gays in positions of power. They're just people, and people are susceptible to the same pressures that all white men are susceptible to, which is being corrupt because they're in a position of power. Women aren't inherently better than men. They're not. I know that's the thing. Like, I know everyone goes, oh, if we only had a woman president, fuck that. I know tons of women. They're all dumb, and they're all fucking evil, and they're all corrupt. Well, not all of them. Many of them. Like, I know tons of horrible women, and I know tons of horrible men. It's the same with black. It's the same with Hispanic. We're not going to cure our problems in society by getting more women in positions of power or more blacks in positions of power. And by the way, more women in positions of power are not going to help other women. I don't know if you guys have checked. Last time I checked, women hate other women. Black people do not help other black people. Hispanics do not help others. It's just good people. It's just moral people. So this notion like, oh, we're getting more women. Yes, we have a woman. She's in power. And then she fucking runs fentanyl for the Medellin cartel. So what is it, you fucking idiots? It's just bad people doing bad things. It's not their gender. It's not their race. Jesus, goddamn Christ.
Right. I mean, look,
fucking break. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, there are some women that are better than men. There are some, like, regardless, there are people that are better than,
yes. And then there's men that are better than women.
Right.
So
they shouldn't be
moving on.
They
Next
shouldn't
subject.
be hired based on that.
Because
That's
they
what you're
don't.
saying.
They're not inherently better. They don't help women. They don't help blacks.
Well,
they
this
don't
one
help
was really a piece of work.
That's right.
I mean,
like
if you think about it,
yes.
like obviously there's a huge fentanyl crisis, especially Northern California, San Francisco.
They just found out Coolio died of fentanyl.
Like, yeah, so imagine the people that she has affected.
But she's a woman, Chris. She's a woman.
Regardless,
shouldn't she be held?
Man, woman.
Yes,
elephant.
Everyone's
You're
flawed.
a piece of shit.
Of course. Look, everyone on the left hates Marjorie Taylor Greene, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Woman. She's a woman.
She's
a woman. And they hate Candace Owens. She's a black woman. Okay, so what is it? Is it women? Is it black women? Is it men? Is it black men?
I don't think it's men or women. It's just if you're hiring people based on being a woman. That's what it is.
Of course. You're going to end up with fucking Kamala Harris. That's what you end up with.
Well, she's been fired, this union director, based off this investigation. And yeah, she's been there since like 2003.
Yes.
And yeah, shipments to her home. It was risky already. Everyone said that they were really surprised. All of her coworkers, like, this is a shock. Like, she was a sweet lady, but
she tried to blame her cleaning,
running
woman.
a little drug.
I love the woman tried to blame the other woman.
Oh, she tried to blame her housekeeper.
That's what I'm saying. Every time I hear about the Million Woman March, I'm like, would you fucking yentas just go home and handle your goddamn business? has nothing to do with men, woman, black, white, Hispanic. It's such a fucked up time we're living in. And by the way, it's racist and it's genderist to think that a gender or a race would be inherently better than the other one would be. Ugh. I've been screaming this for a million years. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with everyone.
All right, let's move on. Let's go.
Please.
Let's go down south to Florida, the other side of the country here. So, a Florida teacher was fired hours after he asked his students to write their own obituaries ahead of an active shooter drill on campus.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, is a psychology teacher. These were 11th and 12th graders, and it was during first period on a Tuesday. And these kids got really uncomfortable about this.
I don't know. I kind of like it. It's a time saver.
Yeah. So
I mean, if something goes down.
So the teacher said, this is a class of 35. The teacher says, quote, "This isn't a way to upset you or anything like that. It wasn't to scare them or make them feel like they were going to die. Just help them understand what's important in their lives and how they want to move forward with their lives and how they want to pursue things in their journey." But by second period, word got out, fired the same day.
How much obit writing could you do when you were in the 11th grade?
Like, what do you have to say?
It's like, I like Apple Jacks.
Yeah, do 11th grade Adam's obituary.
11th grade Adam's obituary would have been, I eat hard-boiled eggs. I don't like hard-boiled eggs, but I eat a lot of hard-boiled eggs, and I lift weights. So it's like I eat eggs and I lift weights so I can play football. And so I like eggs. And I'm not sure. My stepmom's kind of lukewarm on me. My dad's kind of lukewarm. I don't really see my mom that much, or I don't live with my mom.
Well, this has to be in third person. So Adam Carolla, egg eater.
Egg eater.
He
likes Graham Parker and the Pretenders, and maybe the Cars' first album, and likes playing football and fucking around with a bullhorn on campus, and Ray and Chris are douchebags or something. Like I don't.
You tag it with.
I would tag it with. I would definitely have to take a dig at Ray and Chris.
Of course, they do the same to you.
I didn't have a resume, so how could I put together an obit? I didn't do anything. Had my driver's license.
Yeah, what have you left behind?
I may have had a BMX bike from a few years earlier. I had a mattress. Let's see, a BMX bike.
And a mattress.
A mattress.
You're counting your mattress as something.
Well, that was a big ticket item for me. That's a...
I would not have thought to have included my mattress in my worldly possessions.
I didn't own a car. Well, let's break it down. I didn't own a car. I did not have a motorcycle. I didn't have a mode of transportation. So I would have had a BMX bicycle from a few years earlier, but I still had the bicycle in my shed, I think. Did I mention the mattress?
Yeah, you said that a couple times.
I had some Levi corduroys. Wow, I didn't own a basketball. I had a baseball mitt. So I would have had a baseball mitt, maybe a baseball bat, maybe cleats for football.
What was your biggest accomplishment at that age that it could be your legacy that you were known for?
Well, in the 11th grade, nothing really. In the 12th grade,
getting to the 11th grade,
the 12th grade, I would have had, class clown at the end of the year, and I would have had all Valley football player at the beginning middle of senior year, because I think they did like the All Valley selection at September, October or something.
Adam Carolla, left guard.
Oh, God damn it. Middle linebacker. Come on. Best defensive player, class clown. selected to the, Herald Examiner All-Star football team or Green Sheet or something football, whatever the newspaper was that's now defunct.
That's sad. It's minimal.
Yeah,
it's like a paragraph.
It was pretty minimal. Just a lot of minimal. Pretty minimal. By the way, that obit wouldn't have improved for the next decade. Like 10 years after that, still would have had. He's got baseball mitt.
Made it to the 11th grade.
Got
once.
his mattress.
So that's mattress. His
Got his mattress.
Pants.
He's got a Zuzu Trooper.
Oh,
with a lot of miles on it. 4-banger. And
the robe without a sash.
He's got a robe without a sash. He's got a Pioneer stereo unit. Yeah. Like maybe a Sony Trinitron TV or something.
He's behind a shrimp devaner.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever took possession of that.
No.
There may be a family thing.
Your shrimps have been veiny.
Yeah, I still to this day don't know what goes on with the shrimp devaner. But it was a grab bag item at my Christmas family at Uncle Gobby's house when I was 9. But no, a decade later, I didn't have anything. Yeah, no, and it wasn't a decade later. It was like 13 years later. Still flatline, nothing. So
this would have been a suicide.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been I didn't have a girlfriend to leave behind. Yeah, I wouldn't have had anything to leave behind. So it would have been a very vacant obituary.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, I want to get your thoughts on this. So, the headline is kind of funny. 18-year-old man arrested, which seems way too young to say an 18-year-old man, but I mean that's legality, for breaking into a mansion. Michael Jordan's mansion in Chicago. So 15.
You saw that movie Air.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Michael Jordan's in the news. So $15 million mansion. It was in Chicago. Here's the thing. This mansion, Michael hasn't lived there since 2012. He put it on the market, originally listed for $29 million, dropped to $14.8. Still unable to unload this property. So it basically is abandoned. But this 18-year-old kid, he goes in there, he breaks in. The only thing is the window was broken, but he goes in, he films some stuff. The gym, there's a basketball court in there, a golf course, things like that. But he's been arrested, and he's facing criminal charges for breaking into this property.
I can't figure out, like, Michael Jordan. Like, I like him, but I understand he's complicated, and I feel, his whole dad being killed is a weird story.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah, here's what I have to say. He was killed at a rest stop. So he stopped, he rested, and then he rested permanently.
Eternally, yeah.
And do you know that his body was thrown in a swamp and they found it, and it was like a John Doe. They found it like 11 days later, and they cremated it because they didn't know who it was. So Michael Jordan's dad was not, properly buried. It wasn't like he was shot in a crime and then properly buried. He was missing. They found his body. They didn't know who it was. It was so decayed that they cremated it.
Unidentifiable.
Unidentifiable body cremated. Okay, so
jeez.
Couple things. Listen, I'm going to tell my kids, I don't fucking care how tired you are. Never stop at a rest stop.
Yeah.
Nothing good happens.
Nothing.
Nothing. I've seen enough movies. I've heard enough stories. There's nothing. I don't care how fucking tired you are. Slosh water on your face and keep driving, bro. Like, have another cup of coffee. Put a fucking thumbtack in your shoe and press on it every mile marker. Like, anything, then catch some Z's at a rest stop.
Right.
Also, it makes me wonder, Michael Jordan's dad, Bill Cosby's son, Ennis Cosby, they were both killed because they just sort of pulled over.
Yeah.
That's the scariest thing ever. Like, it's one thing if somebody puts a hit on you, or you work for a drug cartel, or, your wife's trying to collect the insurance. It's another thing if you just, in America, one was in, I don't know, North Carolina. The other was in Los Angeles, where you just pull over. You just pull over randomly in the middle of the night. Just middle of the night, middle of nowhere. Like Ennis Cosby, Bill's son, got like a flat tire just pulled off of Skirball Center in Sepulveda in the middle of Los Angeles. I mean,
people should be allowed to do this. They should be able to do this. It should be an okay thing.
That's not South Central. That's 405 Sepulveda Pass. Skirball Center, museums, Mulholland, very expensive real estate.
Yeah.
Very high-end, gentrified, white, expensive real estate.
Anybody
living in those hills. And just on any weeknight, just pulls over, flat tire. It's like, oh, gets out of the car. Oh, crazy gangbanger puts a bullet in his head. Like randomly, just it's like walks up, like, oh, I'm a gangbanger. And what do? Oh, I just walk around.
Yeah.
You know, at night.
I lurk.
Prestigious neighborhoods, and then see if anyone pulls over.
That's way more shocking than the rest stop, because at least the rest stop, they have that reputation already, and it's expected. But
yeah, so
nowhere safe anymore. Jeez.
Ennis, who probably would have, I don't know if he wishes that Michael Jordan's dad was his dad, but that would have been a fine combination. Ennis Cosby, school teacher, Bill Cosby's son, would be Michael Jordan's father's son. Would have been fine, but
weird connection there. Yeah.
They just pull over. Just pull over and you go, like, I got a flat tire and we're going to catch some Z's. And then just rando gangbanger just walks up, just in the middle of nowhere on a weeknight. Just, here we are. I mean, like I said, look, you drive your car into South Central or into, South Side of Chicago or something, pull your car over.
Yeah, maybe. Seedy neighborhoods.
This is Skirball Center, which is a big museum in Mulholland and the west side of Hollywood, West LA, and multi-million-dollar homes all in the canyon, in the hills. You just pull over there, and someone just walks up and shoots you in the head.
The odds of that are
it's insane.
I don't.
So Michael Jordan's, but the thing about the movie was it was all.
It's all about his dad.
It's kind of interesting. It was all about Mom. And it made me, you know me, I like to tack some shitty cultural narrative onto everything. But I mean, it's like,
here we go.
It was all, I don't know the story. I don't know the real story. But it's like Michael Jordan's mom, Michael Jordan's dad.
I heard this was approved by Michael, like this movie.
Yeah.
So
and look, it made the mom look
realistic.
Great. There's no doubt about it. But Mom was like the savior. And Dad was like, got shot and died, and we're moving on.
Really?
Didn't really give any love to the dad. It's like they were together.
I think that would have detracted from the story they were trying to tell.
The dad had a love child.
Oh.
And he's playing for the Nets right now. No, I have no idea. It would be good if it was. I heard he had a love child. I'm just saying... I know, look, the narrative is strong black woman. I'm just saying, I don't know. If you made a movie where it was all Michael Jordan's dad and mom's like, she got capped in the head and we would turn the page. Like, people would be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, Dad was there. He was there in the whole movie. And at the end, they were just like, he got killed, moving on. Like, they didn't do anything. And at the end... Spoiler alert, but at the end of the movie when they do the epilogue where like Phil Knight, blah, 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 invented...
That's a huge spoiler alert. These are the
well, at the end, look, at the end of all those kind of movies, they do this
here's the thing. It's a true story. We know what happens.
At the end of movies these days, they go, Steve, McBride, the guy who, invented the swoosh, he went on to blah, 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 and the blah, blah. They always do that. I love that part of it.
I love
everyone loves it.
Yeah,
it's boring. It's trite. It's been done 1,000 times, and everyone loves it. Can't get enough. I could watch the whole movie. For me, could just be what they did. Yeah. The first 10 minutes of the movie could be the movie, and the next
I want to read what happens.
The next hour and 45 could just be what people ended up doing after that, because it's crazy. Like sold the company, made $1 billion, or like went bankrupt, or got divorced, or transitioned, or whatever it is. So. Didn't even give one to Michael Jordan's dad. Just did the thing with the mom, did the thing with the Jordan and the Air Jordan and everybody, and nothing. Dad got nothing. Dad's just dead. Yeah.
Oh, he didn't even get a good epilogue.
No, he did not get a good epilogue. That's right.
I'll still be watching. All right, so now let's go over to Texas. So there's a story out of Texas where it's kind of crazy. There, do you know what an AirTag is?
No.
An Apple AirTag. So it's this little like piece of plastic almost, but it has like some technology within it where you put it on. You could stick it on something like my laptop, for instance. And if my laptop gets stolen,
Everyone, I know. Yeah. I will never utilize any of that.
Okay,
yes.
well, a guy did it for his car.
His car.
Yeah. So, and then he goes and tracks his stolen car. And there is a guy in the car when he's in the car. So he calls the cops, but then before waiting for the cops to arrive, he goes and confronts this guy. And the guy in the car. This is all allegedly.
I don't get. Do you get why people are pissed when people steal cars or shit?
Why people are pissed?
Yeah,
of course.
I don't get it at all.
If your car gets stolen, you wouldn't be pissed?
Not at all. Not one bit. Not for a second.
My catalytic converter was stolen. I'm still pissed.
You know, in a weird way, that's worse than getting your car stolen.
Wait, why?
Because I just assume there's just shitty people floating around out there and they just do shitty things. And I never...
It's just a price you pay for being a part of society today. And you just move on.
I have never... When I was young, I was about 13, and one of the big ticket items I got, like when I graduated the junior high or maybe the 6th grade or something like that. So I went down to Val Surf, and I got a skateboard. Not the whole skateboard, because trucks, wheels, and everything. That would have been a lot. What's it called?
The deck is the wood part.
I got the deck.
Okay.
Oh, they call that the deck?
Yeah, it's the deck.
So they would sell the deck separate, and then they would sell the trucks and the wheels, and then maybe the little weird
the hardware
pad in between the trucks and the deck.
Oh, yeah.
And then
the riser.
The riser. You would have to like drill it yourself and blah, blah it yourself, which I was trying to figure out. But anyway, I was pretty stoked that I got a skateboard when I was like graduated the 6th grade.
That's a big deal. Yeah, skateboards are expensive.
Well, just the deck.
You got the bones.
I got the deck part, but it was still would have been like $16 or something at Val Surf in North Hollywood. And I was like riding it around. I was excited about it. And some kid came up to me and he was like, big kid. He was like a junior higher. I was like in the 6th grade. He's probably in the next grade, 8th grade. And he was like, "Can I check out your skateboard?" And I couldn't say no to anybody. I was just like, okay. And he's like, okay. And he got on it and he just went off. He just left. He just never came back.
Yeah.
He just went into the night, except for it was the day.
I had a similar thing.
Metaphorically. He just took off. And I just looked at him and he just went.
And that's that.
Buy
board.
Buy board and buy gift for graduation. And then I got home and I said to my mom, some kid just stole my board. And she's like, yeah, all right.
I'm going to hang out my mattress.
Yeah. Where's my food time? I got to cry myself to sleep. That was it.
That's weird. That's weird. You should be upset.
I wasn't. I was upset that my board was gone, but I wasn't really upset that he did it. I just figured people do that shit, steal cars, do stuff like that. I don't really look at stealing cars as any different than than speeding. Right. It's that's just what a certain percentage of humans do this. So if someone stole my car, like one of those commercials where they're like, "Oh man," it's like, "Hey, you're insured. Someone stole your car. They stole your car." I would have no reaction to it, but it's also interesting that I would have no reaction to it and never do. I would never care. I would not care at all. But it's never happened to me. Nothing's ever happened to me except for the skateboard.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I had the same thing happen. I was at a bar with some friends, and we met some girls, and they invited us back to their place, and then but we had skateboards with us because that's how we got around.
Yeah,
so we skateboarded back to their place, and I had my friend's skateboard because I didn't have mine that night, and we walk in her house, and I just leave it posted up on the porch, and we walk in, And 3 minutes later, my friend Mikey, the drummer in my band, he's like, "Hey, where's my skateboard?" I'm like, "Oh, it's just right outside."
Mikey the Destroyer?
No, that's Will, the
Okay.
bassist who destroyed the bathroom.
Okay.
and deserves that nickname. So, yeah, where's my skateboard? Oh, it's outside. It's only been 3 minutes. He's like, "It's gone." He already knew. It's gone. Like, what are you talking about? Here, I'll go grab it real quick. I walk outside. It's gone. Just like that.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's sad.
All right, so this guy.
Goes up to the car. There's a guy, the guy who stole the car, sitting in the driver's seat, and he confronts him. Mm-hmm. And now this is what the report says now: verbal confrontation. Then the man standing outside allegedly fired several rounds into the vehicle, shoots the guy in the head. The guy inside dies. So that's a story, right? So now, according to reports, the guy inside the car pulled a gun first. So the man said that he shot in self-defense. And here's why I believe him. Authorities are saying that he's not going to face charges.
Good.
Yeah. So, but he tracked his car, confronts the guy, and shoots him and kills him.
That wouldn't do it. Wouldn't get. First off, doesn't everyone have car insurance? Like what?
You're covered. Yeah.
Why
That's
do
what you're
you
paying
need,
for.
well, you're going
to not have to do that.
You're going full dog bounty hunter.
What if it was your Chevy that you had since you were 12 years old, like when we saw right outside? A guy stopped you.
Ghost flames.
Yeah.
Let's quiz you on that car.
No, we don't need to do that.
What year was it?
Nobody was there for that.
What year was it?
57.
55.
Oh.
You know where that car was made famous?
Detroit.
All right. Do you know what movie made that car famous?
Cannonball Run.
No. No. Oh, God.
Someone stopped Adam right outside the theater and showed him his car. And
Yeah, had a big block.
I was there.
427 in it. 9-inch rear end. 700 transmission. Oh, my God. I haven't thought about this movie in a million years. Well, think about it. Oh, shit. All right. So now you gotta help me because it was filmed out here.
Fresno movie.
Now, I haven't thought about this movie in a million years. Harrison Ford was in it. Ron Howard was in it. Cindy, who just died from Laverne and Shirley, was in it. It was American Graffiti. In American Graffiti, Harrison Ford played the badass who drove the 55 Chevy and was dragging Milner at the end. And he wore a cowboy hat. And I don't know if you noticed it, but the dude with the Miller Lite who was talking my ear off was wearing the cowboy hat.
He was inspired.
Like Harrison Ford from American Graffiti. And Harrison Ford had no dialogue in the movie. He was just if you watch American Graffiti, and that was a George Lucas film, was like a very early film.
73.
For Lucas or Spielberg.
Written by George Lucas and directed by George Lucas, produced by Francis Ford Coppola.
Those are people you've heard of, right?
I've heard of them, yeah. They ring a bell.
This was a big movie, and Harrison Ford drove a 55 Chevy, the Bel Air, the same one.
That's where I saw it.
And that he always wore a cowboy hat in the movie, and that's why that dude was wearing a cowboy hat out in that parking lot.
Yeah, so we could talk about it like the way we're talking about it here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so this AirTag thing. So there's also a story recently in Orange County where a girl lost her e-bike, and they tracked it down to the place. They confronted the guy, and she just got her bike back. But is this what we're doing now? Street justice? We're just following the GPS of these locations, and do you
there's this new thing where cops aren't being cops anymore, and we've talked about. I told this story in Pasadena where the guy got shot because somebody stole his computer, and they told the cop he's got a gun, and so they went after him because we don't tell them. If you talk about property crimes, cops don't care anymore.
Yeah,
so
they don't.
That's it.
I don't expect to get anything back.
No,
I mean, I've had a ton of stuff stolen the last few years.
Your backpack, guitar, whatever, everything. Computer, fuck that.
I'll never get it back.
We're now at the point in our society that we've crafted that we no longer will do anything about property crimes. So people are going to have to start tagging their own shit and going after their own shit because the cops are no longer interested in solving crime or protecting citizens when it comes to property crimes. Now, as far as the physical stuff, they still have a kind of lukewarm interest in that, even though that's waning as well and probably on the way out. But you are now going to have to tag your own shit. And look, Lori Lightfoot, who just got thrown out of Chicago's mayor, she just did a whole speech like 2 months ago. When I say 2 months ago, I mean like a month ago. She's like, you vendors that are selling tamales on the street. By the way, I wish they'd sell tamales out here rather than those fucking ghetto dogs. But like, you guys are selling the tamales. You store owners are complaining about getting your Gucci bag stolen. You need to chain that shit up. And you tamale salesmen, you don't be dealing with cash. You need to get Venmo. And like, so we're basically saying to citizens, like, we're not involved with stopping crime anymore in terms of property, like money and Gucci bags and tamale cash. Like, we're here for murders and rape and arson. So you guys need to get the Venmo, and you need to tag your electric scooters, and you need to chain up, put a cable through the handles of your handbag. Like, don't leave that shit out. People just blow the window out and steal all your shit. So
do it yourself.
We have now such a fucking decrepit piece of shit society that we're literally going, oh, you left? Yeah, I went to Oakland. I left my backpack on the passenger seat of the rental car. Oh, that's on you. That's on you.
Yeah.
That's on you. It's like, it's on me.
You should be working around them now.
I left shit in my rental car. Yeah, it's on you. Like, so now
I did get that a lot. It's
I know.
Fine.
Well, that's where we're at. So with that in mind, everyone's gonna have to tag their own shit, or maybe do what I did all those many, many years ago, which is I just defiled my stereo.
Oh, wow.
I spray painted my stereo brown. Take your fucking scooter, take your backpack, take your laptop computer, take your bass guitar, and just fucking destroy it.
Destroy it.
Just carve swastikas into it and just paint it brown. Smear fecal matter on it. And then see if anyone steals it, because they won't. They only steal shit to sell shit.
Yeah.
They don't steal laptops because, like, oh man, I got a big deadline coming up. I got to crunch those numbers. The Johnson report is due on Monday, and my computer's out of batteries. Like, no, they steal all your shit to sell all your shit. Yeah. So if you pre-destroy all your shit, like I did with my Sony stereo, my Nissan truck, then they will leave you alone. That's the story.
That's sad. All right.
Well, I got a show to do. I got to get out there. I got to
be on stage in like a few minutes.
I got to wow the audience. I'm nervous, man. Woo! All right. I'm warmed up. All right. So until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Jesse May Peluso and Big J
Big J Okerson, yeah.
Okerson, right. Big J Okerson and Chris Maxipata saying mahalo.